Hey team, Angus Strachan here. Welcome to the Film Slice Podcast. I'm here as always with my co-host, the one that was talking over the intro, Cane Dogs. How
You're
are
welcome.
we?
Hi, everyone. Now intro, but we're not going back.
And the
There's
man
no looking
formerly
back.
known as Brody New Broodman Richards. This week
What's
he
he
is
known
known
as?
as...
Hold on, did you say he's known as Brewman Richards?
Yeah, sure, Brewman Richards.
I'll be
And
Brewman.
this week we are reviewing Bad Boys for Life.
Oh yeah, Bad Boys
Motherfucker.
For Life. That's the
They
one.
really missed the opportunity. They should have made it number 4.
That's it. You know what we haven't done? Decided who's going to do the quick synopsis. Who wants to do that one?
Weren't we meant to roll a dice? Is that how we do it?
Yeah, we were.
All right, do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go for
Great.
it.
Will Smith and not Will Smith star in the most generic buddy cop film I've ever seen, where two old men are slightly older than they were last time they made these movies.
Very fair.
And they're cops.
Definitely not racist. Just not.
No, it's just like one of them is Will Smith and the other one hasn't been an actor for 20 plus years. And all of a sudden he's back in this blockbuster and no one came back for him.
That's fair.
Coming up next is the Watch or Not segment of the podcast, where we
That's
tell you
right.
if you should watch it, wait for a streaming service, or not watch it.
Or just come up with another completely unrelated, random, outlandish description
I like
of the
that
film,
last option.
which is what you did.
The outlandish option.
I'm going to go first. Don't watch this ever. If it comes on streaming, delete the streaming service that was weak enough to get it.
I'm going to say this is a streamer.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I'm
this is
also
a
gonna say
streamer.
This is a streamer.
It's not. I mean, the only thing that it has going for it with the cinema is that the cinema's loud and surround sound with the explosions.
And that you're surrounded by loud people.
And you're surrounded by loud people. Exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's better than some other generic action films that we've seen over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I think it's the same or worse.
Fair enough. I've definitely lost what we're our script for. What
so
we're up
the
to.
next thing.
What is the next thing? So
I had to get my phone, but also I'm attached to the... hold on.
maybe it's that.
I sent it to you.
Right. Maybe I also have it on my.
I'd love if you also just
Toss
read
a
it.
coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty.
No. It's Bad Boys. What are we doing, Cane Dogs?
Now we're doing our initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts of the film.
What we originally thought. What do you... I mean...
I think that this film is old men being old men and making fun of the fact that they're now a little bit older and a little bit sorer and they're missing their heydays, much like other old men that are probably going to watch this movie. Old Men, the movie.
Okay.
For life. Old Men for life.
Full Life, number 3. Did you guys watch the movie The Other Guys? It was like Will Ferrell and...
Marky Mark.
Mark Wahlberg. And in it, there's a brief part where I think it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson are just the most over-the-top, just
Yeah.
like...
Classic hero buddy
like
cops.
the most
Like, yeah.
parodied, most generic. This is like if you took those guys, aged them by another 20 years and made a movie.
So like Bad Boys 2?
Yeah, except older. It was real crap. But those were my initial thoughts, whether this hit the most generic plot point for a buddy cop film. Every
That's fair.
scene was like, 2 days from retirement. Oh, I love you. I thought we were in it forever. It's just, it's all of that.
I love you.
I love you. We're better. We're basically brothers because we've been on
Not
the job.
gay.
We've been on this job
But
for
we've been through some stuff
we've
together.
been on the job for 20 years and you're my brother and I'd take a bullet for you. But also
I'm not going to take a bullet for you anymore.
If someone shoots me,
So that's
I'm
John's
really gonna hang
initial
it over
thoughts.
you.
That's John's initial thoughts there.
Yeah.
Mine are pretty similar. Yeah, it's a pretty whatever film. It's a pretty
Yeah,
Mirage.
you know what? If you're listening to this wondering whether it's good or not, just
You probably didn't
No.
need to go
It's
to the
Bad
effort of-
Boys
watch
3,
watch the
the one
trailer
they made
and it's
20
exactly
years
what
later.
you get. Exactly. Let's
like-
let's go ahead and
Cinema dick!
get into the cinema dick. I don't think
And the
I have.
sound.
I don't have the cinema dick thing on my keyboard. Never mind.
Wait, was there a cinematic theme?
No. I'm thinking
I'm worried
about
about-
me in the
I'm
future.
worried
that
about-
would've
I'm
got-
worried that I'm standing closer to you than Jordan.
I'm worried about Angus. I feel like he's really
Yeah.
lost the plot.
Yeah, look, this podcast is just not what I remember it being. Cinema dicks. Anyone got a cinema dick?
I got a cinema dick.
I got a cinema dick as well.
Okay.
Brian, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure thing. There was a guy that sat behind me. The entire cinema was empty. The entire theater was 100% empty. There was me and 5 other people in there, and one of the people sat directly behind me and one step over, and he thought this film was the fucking bee's knees. I'll tell you that much. He fucking loved this film. He was just like, and he had such a strange life. He was like a.
Oh my god.
Love it.
I'm actually wondering if we didn't see the
weird.
film together. In fact, we saw this film a week apart, but my cinema dick is in fact similar. The only thing that annoyed me,
the same guys just watched it.
He came back.
Always.
the thing that aggravated me is they were such cheaply written jokes, like the most generically reused jokes, and he found all of them funny, and it just annoyed me. It was like there's a part where they're both getting out of the car in slow motion, like the good old days, but they take so long to zoom up that you know that it's going to be a joke about one of them being old or something like that, and one of them accidentally opens the door into a fire hydrant. And I was like, who's going to find that funny? And in my brain I was like, if someone laughs, I swear to, and sure enough someone was like, ha 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 ha. I was like, you know what? You shouldn't be watching this movie. But also, you're the demographic. You're also
primary school. You dumb. No. I'm sorry. It's 40. It's been 40 degrees today. I'm really.
But what was weird is I'm annoyed at the demographic. I'm annoyed that there is a demographic for this movie because I want films like this to stop existing, and the fact that someone enjoyed it meant we're going to keep getting them, and I just want people to not enjoy it so that we stop getting them.
That's fair.
Angus, do you have a cinema dick?
Not that I can remember because it was so long ago since I've seen this movie.
Yeah,
I'm really struggling to recall this film.
All right. Or this podcast.
I guess we go into spoilers.
Yeah, this film's pretty average. That's all you really need to know.
Cool.
Oh, what a cool sound effect, Angus. Darth Vader's his dad.
It's live now.
That's a spoiler alarm, so if we spoil anything, it's your own damn fault. Youngins.
Can I just point out
old men?
Can I point out something really small? So I'm watching Star
Yes.
Wars with a friend, and it's the first time that they have watched it. And as a result, that little gag about you being like, Darth Vader's his dad, legitimate spoiler for them.
It came out before we were all born.
Yeah. I just wanted to say
it's not a spoiler.
For someone, legitimate spoiler.
All right, before we get in depth in our in-depth review, let's first see
what's in the mailbox.
That's right, what's in the mailbox.
Amazing.
Today, gentlemen.
What's in the box? What's in the box?
Writing in on Instagram saying, this is the best sequel we could have asked for this late in the game. Entertaining and well acted. Some CG was very noticeable, but not bad enough to ruin the experience. That was from M1
1 minute
nut review.
1 minute reviews. Jesus Christ.
Okay, it's minute, but the first I in minute is spelt with one, so
There's
it looks
only
like
one I in minute.
M1 nut reviews.
M1 nut
Right.
review.
Well, look.
Thank you, M1 nut, for writing it.
He's right in that this is the best sequel we could have asked for.
This late in the game.
No one asked for it. That's the difference.
No, I think old men asked for it.
Oh, maybe. The one bloke in the cinema that saw it twice.
Yeah.
He asked for it.
Anything else in our mailbag today?
No.
Cool.
My
Mailbag is empty.
What's in the
Empty
mailbox?
I love that you can control how much time you give yourself and you still rush yourself.
No, it's exactly the same. You just got to squeeze it in.
The last time you took like a 10-minute pause to say the word candle.
Dramatic effect. All right, in-depth review of Bad Boys. Opens up on a car chase, and then pretty much a car chase all the way through, except one cop,
and then
one partner
end,
decides
and then at the end,
not to be a policeman anymore, even though they were bad boys for life. But
Bad Boys for life.
yeah, but everyone keeps reminding him that it's for life. Fist bump. And then for some reason, Will Smith has a whole backstory that we didn't hear about in the last 3 movies.
Also,
2
full
movies.
disclosure, I haven't seen the others.
I've seen the first one about 20 years ago.
I've seen one scene from the second one have you ever got that movie where you've never seen the whole movie, but you've seen like one scene from it a lot of times? There's one scene in Bad Boys 2 where the boyfriend comes to pick up the guy's daughter, and Will Smith, and not Will Smith, give that guy a bunch of shit.
We should really find out his name. He's actually quite a funny person.
Who hasn't been in a film
What
for
is
20
his name?
years.
No, he's been in Bad Boys.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
Old Men for Life.
Good men. What you gonna do when they come for
So,
you?
next question.
Good men, good
In
men.
this movie, it insinuates that Will Smith and that other guy came up with that song, but also that song exists in the film. So do they have a licensing deal going on?
They
with
don't
it?
come up with it.
I don't think they
just
come
sing
up
in
with
the
it.
first-
I
in the
think they
first-
just like own
Yeah.
it, you know?
I
Just
think,
own it.
I think if I remember correctly, which I probably don't,
Okay.
in the first film, Will Smith sings it, and he keeps trying to get the other guy to sing it, but the other guy won't sing it.
Oh, okay.
And at the end of the film, he finally sings it.
So we're saying is in the other films, he's also unlikable and useless.
Martin Lawrence
Okay.
is his name.
Good on you, Martin Lawrence.
And he's also been in Wild Hogs.
Ooh, that was a bad film.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, was that Tim Allen?
That was
Yes,
Tim Allen.
that
Jordan.
was
Your
Tim
memory
Allen.
serves you
Tim
well.
Allen on a
That was
motorcycle.
Tim
Correct.
Allen on a motorcycle
Yep.
Classic.
with 3 other old men.
So what you're telling me is...
They all have
Great
their own
actor.
motorcycles.
What you're telling me,
Great
wait,
actor.
Martin
Love
Lawrence,
him.
Martin Lawrence has been doing old men come back for something cool for 15 years.
Yeah.
He's just
yeah.
everyone. He
Old
must have-
man.
He must have looked just like 40 years old at the age of like 29, and since then, just old man films.
You know what? You work with what you got, and he is working it to the bone.
He nailed sitting in that
He's nailed
armchair.
it. Yes. Anyway, where were we in the movie?
Look,
The very
Will
beginning.
Smith. Yeah.
Will Smith and not Will Smith.
Will Smith ends up having this kind of back history romance that's kind of off screen and isn't mentioned in the other movies,
Yeah.
but you kind of just agree that it's there because they said so.
She's like, by the
Turns
way,
out she's a witch.
Yeah, she's a witch. She like stabs up a guard real hard.
Like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
She totally Hannibal Lecters it.
And then she
wears
never
the skin
uses-
and everything.
and
Not,
then-
not wears the skin,
and
but
then
it's the
she
same
meets her
premise.
son in a paddock, and then her son goes to Florida and shoots Will Smith.
First, because he's an idiot.
Yeah. What?
Well, 'cause
this
the mum-
is the most confusing.
Yeah, I feel like maybe we need to do this in-depth part from the start again, because I feel like we've been very
I
complicated.
think it's fine. I think everyone's getting the gist of this movie.
I don't think. Okay,
So
look,
Will Smith recovers from being shot in 6 months, and he walks around and he's like, "Hey, I want to find this dickhead who shot me a bunch of times."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you can't. You can't work your own case." And he's like, "I'm going to do it anyway." And then he goes and he like
and
beats
so there's
up a guy.
tribunal. There's an internal investigation. They take his badge.
No,
oh, wait, no,
Johnny,
they just
he
they
beats
just,
up a guy.
they just let
because
him
he's
do it.
awesome. He's a bad boy.
Right.
Bad boys, bad
life.
boys. What's your and the fist
Old
okay.
man.
So, old man. So he beats up a guy, and then they're like, "Fine, you can work your case then." And then everyone in the audience is like, "Wait, what? He just committed a crime." And then so that happens, and then
And also the other favorite bad boy that everybody also loves and remembers.
Lawrence.
Yeah, him.
He's retired now.
He's retired and like yeah,
That's
he has
all
a
you
fun
need to know.
adventure. He's on an armchair. He's got a kid now that supposedly he doesn't really
this
seem to
is-
care
Is
about.
is
this
the
is
comic
way too
relief.
in depth for this character.
Yeah.
Is the comic relief, and
that's-
all his jokes are, "I'm old now. Where are my glasses?"
He's so useless in this movie.
Yeah,
There's
he
not a
is.
single scene where he's useful in any way.
I feel like it's similar to the first Bad Boys.
well,
though.
that's the question that because I again haven't seen the first two. Is he
Bad
that
boys,
useless
bad
in
boys.
all of them?
I don't think I've seen two.
Because when I watch this, I'm like, maybe back in the first two films, maybe he
It's
was
okay. It's okay, bro.
I was like,
It's
in the first
Take
two
a seat.
films,
Have
Can
a-
we watch
have-
John
have
Wick
a
3
bit-
now?
in the first two films, maybe that character was cool and ripped as well, like Will Smith, and maybe they were both cool, and they just had to play with the fact that he's not a movie star like that anymore. But
Yeah.
was he just in this film?
I'm
completely
pretty
useless?
sure
I'm like,
he's the
he just
comic relief in
use-
all of the movies. I think.
It's so frustrating
Yeah.
because you're just like, why'd you bring him?
Mm.
Because this whole movie is Will Smith being like, I can't do this without you, man. And then the entire film is just him being a damsel in distress in every scene.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm like,
Pretty much.
you would have done much better without him. You would have had this done in minutes without him. You would have knocked this over in a night without him.
Ugh.
Speaking of being done in a minute, let's quickly finish off this movie. Basically, Will Smith's girlfriend has ex-girlfriend, has a vendetta against him and tries to kill everyone that framed
But not
her
his
husband.
only ex-girlfriend. There's a second ex-girlfriend who's kind of helping him because she is also a police officer.
Yes. True.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the other girlfriend. There's a
No.
lot of... Will Smith is obviously a sex god in this universe.
In all
It's one of those things that's like, there are two women in this movie. Will Smith, he's dating them both.
Yep. Anyway, it ends with them going to Mexico, I'm pretty sure, and they just kind of blow up an old place, and
Also the
Turns out the
girlfriend
guy that
dies
Will
and-
Smith's been fighting is his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Kind of
it's
like that Darth
basically
Vader thing that we were talking about earlier.
a
it's
little bit.
basically the plot of Gemini Man.
Oh. Will Smith, classic.
Yeah. Just Will Smith fighting a younger Will Smith. It's not Will Smith, but
it's
it's,
No.
no, but it's his
It's
son.
Mexican Will Smith.
It's metaphorical.
Okay.
Cane dogs.
All right.
Also, so that's literally the story. A helicopter crashes, and then his son's like, you know what? I've killed a bunch of people my entire life, but I'm going to be good for you, Dad.
And jumps
Bad
in
boys
front of
for
a bullet
life.
Yeah.
for his dad.
And then his dad's like, you know what?
Then they
You're a
burn
good
the witch.
man. I'm going to put you in prison for life.
Great. So
It's
now
a
you don't need to
weird-
watch the movie because
Don't
we've
watch
just
it.
explained it so
Fucking
well.
weird film. Also, throughout the entire film, Bjorn Ironside from Vikings is there.
Yeah,
And I
But he
bloody love
doesn't.
him.
But they play the
Doesn't
whole.
throw down.
Yeah, and then they build up to him throwing down, and he gets maybe 4 seconds of some of the worst choreography I've ever seen.
Hey, he threw down. He fucking tackled a building, John.
He did.
He did.
That's
tackle-
something that he did in this film.
I forgot about that. He did indeed tackle a building.
That would hurt so much.
Yeah,
that
that
would
Not
really
to
hurt.
Bjorn Ironside, bitch.
That guy's shoulder is
You'd imagine
destroyed.
that it's not just concrete. There'd be like some iron,
Yeah, iron rods and-
reinforcement in
This
the
was
in the
actually-
pillar.
This is an
No.
old. This is an old hotel. Angus.
Back
They
then-
didn't use metal
Back then, they made
in
buildings
the-
out
Just
of.
concrete.
in the 1920s.
They made buildings out of foam back then. You know
Yeah.
how it was.
Cool. So story-wise, I give this a 2 out of can't be fucked rating.
Pretty weird. It's better than
2
Rambo.
can't be fucked rating it.
Gotta
Out of
say,
that.
better than Rambo.
Yes.
It's
I think
it's
on
very
par for me.
generic.
It's on par for
Rambo
me.
was. You forget Rambo.
Yeah, I need to go back and
Rambo
no, I
was
don't. What
awful.
am I talking about?
Rambo
Again,
was
though,
awful.
put this scenario in any other buddy cop film, and you know it's
the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyone. Can
I've got to say, there were some parts of this film which was slightly above average. You know, the story, even though that's all really kind of shit, at least it was slightly complicated, and they just kept going through different stuff. You know, Rambo was just like, oh,
Yeah.
and he does a thing, then
Here
he
we
does
go
a
again.
thing, then he does a thing. At least this was kind of like stuff was happening.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then also, same thing with the action. At least some of it was kind of interesting.
I-
A lot of it was very late, like 90s campy,
I really
but
liked
some
the,
of it was good.
I
which
liked
is
the
when the
villain.
first ones came
Yeah.
out, didn't it? Yeah.
I did actually really like the villain. The guy that played Will Smith's son, like, don't get me wrong, not a great villain,
No.
but still more interesting than generic, like, white businessman guy that we usually get in these films. Like, generically,
I
it's...
feel like in these films we usually get generic Mexican man.
well, at least I like the
Because
martial arts.
I have a feeling a feeling. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that the bad guy in either the first movie or the second movie is
The guy that we're talking about.
the guy that they put behind bars.
Although,
So,
no,
like, the-
it couldn't have been because
His
in
girlfriend's husband.
but in that, isn't he all like, I was undercover and you wouldn't have known about
Yeah, that was all
this.
pre Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, but like I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not an expert on Bad Boys,
Can
but
I- question.
I'd assume
Bad
that
boys,
would be.
bad boys.
I think out of all of the stuff that happened in this movie, the thing that really bent the rules of reality for me is in this world, Martin Lawrence thought he was going to beat Will Smith in a foot race. that was the least believable part. Was Will Smith is clearly still working out, and Martin Lawrence is clearly not. And I mean, like, I don't just mean the actors, but I mean the characters. Very clearly, one of them is still very much in shape, and he's like, "All right, high stakes in this foot race. If I win, we both retire." And Will Smith's like, "If I win, we do this till we dead. I know you've got kids and a grandchild and a lot of legitimate reasons, but if I beat you in a foot race..." It's like, in what world did Martin Lawrence think he was going to beat him in a foot race?
But also in this film, they steal a motorcycle with a sidecar, and the sidecar has a machine gun hidden in it.
This is true.
And when I
was
say
still-
machine gun, I mean a mounted machine gun,
That was still-
which they pull out the front.
I found
This is
that
true.
more believable than Martin Lawrence beating
What
Will
about
Smith
the
in a foot
bit where they
race.
throw the grenade, then the guy on the motorbike does a wheelie, picks up the grenade, and then throws it back at the people who threw the grenade?
Yeah, no, it's still more believable to me.
Okay, what about the bit where the guy's running a gas tank in a auto parts store, explodes, he flies across the room and gets impaled on a forklift spike?
You know, the thing that did get me though...
That's actually, I've seen that happen. It's not nice. Yeah.
That happened to Angus a couple of weeks ago.
It
The
hurts.
thing...
What about the bit where the
Fucked up
guy
his knee pretty
punches
bad.
through the floor and drags Will Smith down into the floor with him?
I know, I've seen Batman do that. I know
Oh,
it's
I've
possible.
got one.
Yeah, go.
What about the bit where they're hiding behind a round wooden table and the bullets don't go through that, but in
Yeah.
the next scene, some guy shooting through the floor of the second story and killing all the guys.
But also, that table explodes for some reason. There are so many things in this movie where they shoot it with 1 or 2 bullets and it explodes.
What about
Not
the
this
bit
table.
where Will Smith's
That
character has had a relationship with a woman 20 years younger than him, and they used to date, which means that she was even younger than that when they
No,
actually did
isn't
date for the
she
first
older?
time.
I thought she was older, and he was the youngin.
No way. Will Smith's like 50. He's
Yeah,
like
but
50
in
something.
this movie, he's meant to be 28 or 45. It's really unclear.
Yeah, believable, I guess then.
Believable?
I guess.
I felt it really creepy. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that is creepy. Cool. Let's do our best and worst of this film.
This film is crazy.
Let's start with our best.
All right, sure. Look, as much as this film was crap, Will Smith is still charismatic to me. It still just hasn't worn off. He can do crap movies, but as long as he's in it, I'm still going to like seeing him on screen. Even if he's delivering crap dialogue, I still just... There's a scene where he interrogates a guy and he's wearing his suit and he like goes into like a meat shop to interrogate him.
DJ Khaled.
Yeah, and like someone... Yeah, I thought... Yeah, exactly.
That's so weird.
And like they get like a little bit of like blood on his suit.
Will, I mean...
And they get like a bit of blood on his suit, and he's like, "Did you just get blood on?" Just
Yeah,
scenes
yeah.
like that with Will
Pig
Smith.
fat.
The stuff where Will Smith is by himself, or anytime Will Smith is like
Lead man in it.
overly confident, where there's a part where he's gonna have a fight.
I
and it's like,
want to
"Oh, the
see
gun's
Will
the
Smith's
reason."
John Wick film. You know,
Yeah,
because
just-
he's like the same age as Hugh Jackman, right? And Hugh Jackman did Logan.
Yeah,
I want to see Will Smith's like, yeah, I'm getting a bit old. I'm just gonna say,
Old man Will Smith.
I want to
Yeah.
see old man Will Smith fuck some people up. You know, because we've seen like old man Clint Eastwood fuck people up, and he's like ancient.
Yeah.
You know, but like
Yeah. I
Will
let's see
Smith
Will
isn't
Smith's
even there.
Gran Torino.
Yeah, I want to see Will Smith with a bit of bit of grey in his beard
Yeah.
and stuff, and like look a bit like miserable. And I want to see him fuck some people up.
Pursuit of Happiness 2. Just it's gonna get a lot more bloody.
Jeez.
Oh, God. Okay, so I guess that was your best bit.
My best bit was Will Smith.
Just Will Smith.
Yeah.
I've got to say that Bjorn Ironside has the best story in this film because
And the
he
best
used to be a
arms.
bouncer and he got a bit angry one time, punched someone out in a club, and they died. And so he's been in therapy.
It's a
and
great backstory.
It's a great backstory for
such a
character
throwaway
that's been
character.
in the film for 5 minutes.
But the problem that I had with that backstory is it's like, so he was old enough to be a bouncer for a while, accidentally kill someone, go through therapy, join the police force, be in the police force long enough to then be targeted onto a special crew. How is he?
I'm pretty sure he's the same age as Will Smith, isn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
25, 45.
yeah, 25, 50, somewhere between there. But it's just like getting to the level where it's like, yeah, we're going to put you on a special operation. You're not going to be 26 years old and have a history. Like, if you're that age and you're in like a special thing, you've been in the military since you're like 15. It's not like I grew up, I was 18, I was a bouncer for a couple of years, then I went to police college,
not
and
everyone
then...
gets a
Start 'em
lucky
young.
break, Jordan. Some people
Start 'em
gotta
young.
work as a bouncer to make ends meet, man.
Yeah, but how did he end up with this special time? He would have been a cop for 15 minutes, and they're like,
Because
we're putting
he went
him on
to
a special-
therapy. A lot of police officers have to go to therapy. It's
he just met
mandatory.
some cops
He
and
met
then
some
he-
cops and they're like, "Yeah, this guy's pretty cool.
This guy's cool.
Let's
He
get him in on this new, like team. Let's call the team Ammo.
Also,
so it's
the
kinda
new
like
team is just
ammunition.
a normal team, but they have a drone.
They
And
should have
just-
called it Shield.
Also-
They should have just doubled back and be like, yep, this is Shield.
This is
This
S.H.I.E.L.D..
is exactly Shield.
Also, I just really...
He's 27, by the way.
I really like that Will Smith is surprised at any police work. They're just like, yeah, we're going to have a stakeout. He's like, what are you talking about? Let's just go shoot some people. It's like, how are you a cop? What are you talking about?
He
He's a
obviously made
bad
it through
boy.
the golden age of police work.
I think the thing that messed... Sorry, I know I'm still talking. About it. The thing that messed with me is I thought, if this film's going to be any good, they're going to have to acknowledge that he can't be like... I'm a bad boy and I'm just going to shoot first and ask questions later. Like, no, in this world, you've been a cop for 20 years. You're going to need to be wiser. And I hoped that it would be like him sort of controlling Ammo, the new younger group that want to be the new bad boys. And he's like, no, we made a lot of mistakes. You need to, like, you know, think first. But no, it was about the young kids being like, yeah, we're real cops. And him still being like, yo, I'm going to shoot first and pop a cat. And I'm like, what is happening? How did
By
he
the
go?
way, the term Pop a Cap was never mentioned in this entire film.
But it's just the concept
I just want to make that very clear.
it's just the concept of how has he been a cop for 20 years?
Yeah.
And not learned anything.
Fair. It's fair. Obviously, his partner did a lot of talking.
His partner did a lot of the police work.
Yeah, fair. Broadman.
What's
Favorite
up,
part
man?
of the film?
Favorite part? Oh, Beyond Hindsight.
Beyond Hindsight. Okay.
Angus, what's your favorite part?
My favorite part, I really liked. I got a real good giggle because it was early on about when Will Smith died. Wait for it. Will Smith died and he was in the bed and the guy was dyeing his goatee.
I don't think that was meant to be funny. I thought that was meant to be heartfelt.
No, it was funny because they were joking about it before. It's like, I don't dye my beard. Yeah, I found that funny. But the thing that I really liked about this was right at the start, the opening shots of everything, the wide shots of Miami or Florida or wherever it is, it did look specifically like a Bad Boys film. Like cinematography wise, it had those kind of shots in it. It had probably that one shot that you've seen of the other movies where they get out of the car and the camera like swings around the front of the car to show both, and like it looked like a Bad Boys film, which I really enjoy because I'm like, okay, good. At least this movie has like a style and it has that kind of really gold tintish, beachy kind of a glow to it. Yeah. Which I was really happy with. I think the cinematography was above par on this as opposed to everything.
It was above the rest of this film.
Yeah.
Cinematographer, you did a great job. We're not shunning you.
Correct. Indeed. Worst parts of the film.
Oh, man.
I'd
I'd say that my least favorite thing is kind of similar on the lines with a lot of films like this. I just kind of find it boring. Like, I think that we're at the point where there's so many of these films.
Yep.
We've seen so many of them when we were kids, all the way through until we're now. We're still kids. And they're just boring. They're kind of just like, okay. And I feel like, unfortunately, most films are kind of like that these days. I feel like the film industry is kind of stagnating. It's like, I feel like films...
Especially for action films.
Especially for modern day action films.
Yep.
Because I think at least when you have something like a science fiction action or a period action, at least there's another element there which is interesting because you actually have to use some sort of creative thinking to figure out how to do all this sort of stuff. And it's just kind of just like...
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess like Buddy Cop's been done to death.
Yeah.
And that's why we're getting parodies of it with like other guys and stuff like that. Like, it's obviously they just need to come up with a new concept, but they haven't yet. So they're sticking with their guns.
Yeah.
Cane Dogs, worst part of the film.
Same. Look, riding off the back of that, it's one of those things where this movie was made almost as if parodies didn't exist of it. And as a result, it tried to like it hit all of the most generic moments in one of these films. But it didn't seem to be self-aware enough to realize that that's what it was doing. And as a result, like, it's the concept where, like, one of them is 2 days from retirement, and now they're at a party and they point at each other. They're like, "Duh, you, we're brothers forever." And then one of them's like, "Sorry, man, I'm retiring," and the other one's like, "You can't do that." And then there's the classic police captain that's like, "You can't do that. I'm taking away your badge." And then he does it anyway. He's like, "God damn it, you son of a bitch, but you're the best son of a bitch we have. I'm giving you back your badge."
You're the dumbest son of a bitch.
You're the dumbest son of a bitch, but god damn, we need you on our team. And then it's like, oh, there's another woman there, but of course they have history because that's the only reason we put this person in the script. And then, oh, there's a bad guy, but they're linked by family or so. It's just... We've seen that so many times, and this literally went like scene to scene to scene, like, oh, the wife's gonna kill me, oh, we're in a mini car now. There's an exact scene, and the script scene pulled straight out of, like, one of the maybe Men in Black 2, where Will Smith hops in a car, and instead of it being like a fancy car that he's used to being in, He's like, we're gonna chase him down in, then he lists like some shit old car. It's like, he
the
says that in-
go-to joke in most of these action films these
And
days.
it's just so...
It's just like, oh, what? We're in a Toyota Corolla? Oh, what? We're in like a...
Yeah, just like a Mini Coupe or whatever, but it's just so... It's every single scene from this was something I had not only seen before, but seen it done better and more self-aware.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My worst is there's a witch, maybe.
But also, she's only magic at the
Like,
beginning.
if she-
Fine, we burnt
she's-
the witch.
Oh, I didn't even put two and two together.
You didn't catch
They
that?
burned the witch. Yeah,
They burned the witch.
There you go. Well, okay, I don't have a worst part then.
Now it's the best part.
Now it's the best part.
Good
the
job
big-
for burning
at
the
the
witch.
beginning-
Metaphors.
At the beginning, it's like she can use supernatural power and like spurt things out and drive people to like do weird things, and then just
Yeah,
later
she can
on-
like full on hypnotize people and like.
When
But not
did we
anymore.
watch the same film?
The guard. There's a guard. She turns around and she starts muttering. The guard just like is frozen and scared and like can't do anything.
I thought that's what
and then
anyone
gets
would do in
stabbed.
that situation. If you come across a person who's got hair in front of their face going,
Probably not if you're a
and
guard
you're
in
I feel
a
like if you're a
women's
guard,
place.
I feel like if you're a guard, you'd probably approach with caution, not approach being like, "Oh, this is weird." I might.
yeah,
as well
she
tap
stands
him
there
on
and
his-"
she's just like, what the fuck? And then she gets stabbed in the stomach 17 times by 10 different people.
Yeah, no,
I never took that as magic.
No, I also didn't like that the son was just like the classic. Oh, we know exactly when she's being transported and where, and we'll just we'll just break her out. No one will look for her. We'll just go to any place in Mexico. Luckily, no one's looking for this maximum security breakout.
That and yeah, it's exactly the scene from Hannibal Lecter,
Yeah.
just done worse. Cool. All right, I think we should leave that there. That was Bad Boys for Life.
Number
Hopefully
3.
it ends soon.
I think
Bad
it should
Boys
be
4 Life.
Average
Number 3.
boys.
Sweet. Cool. Thanks for listening. Make sure to hit us up on Instagram or Facebook, Film/Pod, and all of those things for anything this week or next week. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
Next week on the Film/Pod
Gonna
podcast.
do when it's another shit. Jordan, how could you do this to me? When I said shake your leg, I didn't mean shake it off.
Oh no, I'm missing my legs.
At
Someone
least fucking commit. At least fucking commit to the bit, Jordan.
I refuse.
Fuck it. End the podcast there. He didn't commit. I'm
I'm
fucking
not-
disappointed.
How do you commit to missing a leg without just screaming heavily into the mic?
You could have said, but I need all 3.
Man, I find it hard to go upstairs. That's how you do it, Jordan. That's how you do
I
it.
don't trust stairs. They're always up to something.
Tune in next week.